Hello everyone! I am Alice of KHR Arts and Cloud Orchid Publishing, and today I want to talk to y'all about Bittersweet Memories of Last Spring. This book is written by Dr. Ardain Isma, and it is a historical fiction book specifically about Haitian immigrants in the late 70s, early 80s. And this book is an important fixture in the discussion about immigration and about the American spirit, and also the history of the Haitian and Cuban immigrants here in the United States, specifically in Florida. This book follows a main character, a young man named Yrvin, and he comes over from Haiti. He has to leave his mother and his siblings behind to go live in Miami, Florida. And he has to take this journey by himself, which, even though he is 17 years old, so he's not quite a child, is still really scary to think about. I want y'all to think about what your life was like when you were 17 years old. Now think about having to go to a completely different country where everyone speaks a different language than you, and you have to leave your family and your parent behind, and you have to just go all by yourself. That sounds pretty terrifying, doesn't it? But that's what a lot of these immigrants did and still do today. And so we follow this brave young man and the journey of his life here in the States. And it's quite admirable that he works really hard. And it's quite admirable that his biggest goal is that he wants to get an education. Because we've all heard about how the American dream is to work as hard as you can to make your life better so that then your children can have a better life than you. And that is typically the goal of most immigrant families here in the States. And Yrvin is no different. However, his biggest goal is that he wants to be just leaps and bounds beyond what most immigrants in his community are facing. He wants to get an education so that he can not only survive, but thrive and create the best platform he can for his future family. And so he eventually does actually go to university, and that's where the story really begins. We get this kind of preface of this is how he got to the States, but then we jump forward in time to when he's actually first attending university. So at this point, he has already gone through the public education system. He has learned English. He has learned pretty much how to assimilate to become American and all that, but he also very strongly hangs on to his Haitian roots and his Haitian culture and customs, and that is front and center in the story as well. And even though I said that he does have to take this journey by himself, he is not alone in Miami. So his older sister, Nana, actually already took this journey before him and established herself in Miami. And when he came to Miami, he tracked her down, and now they live in an apartment together. And they struggle. They struggle hard, y'all. They have to take not so great jobs in order to keep the lights on and pay the bills and things, and to put Yrvin through university. And his sister only has basic education, and her English isn't the best. And she essentially is just working these hourly wage jobs in order to help Yrvin realize his dreams. And this is very common in a lot of these immigrant families, is that there will be, maybe one person or two people that they will decide, okay, these are the ones that we are going to invest in and that we are going to push to be able to get an education, and then they will turn around and help us. So kind of the idea, if we help push them up the ladder, once they get to the top, they'll turn around and reach down and pull us up with them. And that's what Yrvin does. And that is a big part of his goals, is not only does he want to create the best platform possible for his future family, but he wants to also be able to provide for his sister Nana, provide for his family to emigrate from Haiti and to come to live in Miami with him, his mother and his siblings, and eventually his father as well. He wants all of them to be able to be together, and he wants them all to thrive together. It's just really admirable to see that all of his hard work is not just for himself, but it's for this whole network of people that he cares about. It also follows his romantic interests, and this is, I wouldn't say quite a trigger warning, just more of something to be aware of, that this book is from the perspective of the Haitian culture, and machoism is a big part of Haitian culture, so there are going to be scenes that might be a little bit uncomfortable to read because it is from that perspective, and some of the values that they do have come from that perspective. So make sure that you go into this book understanding that so that you can enjoy the story for what it is, as well as keeping in mind the time period and the fact that, you know, these are immigrants and they have their own set of values and ways that their family dynamics works. Keep that all in mind. There were a couple of scenes that it was a little bit hard for me as a very strong woman to read, but you have to take it with that grain of salt in that cultural and historical knowledge. I will say that this book does end on a bit of a cliffhanger, but a big part of that is because book 2 is hot on the heels of this book and will be coming out soon. Hopefully, not too long after y'all watch this video, book 2 will be dropping, and I actually am the editor of these 2 books for Dr. Ardain Isma, and I gotta say, y'all, book 2 is fabulous. I can't wait for it to release so I can tell y'all all about it too, because it's fabulous. So even though book 1 does end on a bit of a cliffhanger, hang in there for book 2 because it just gets so awesome in book 2. I can promise y'all that. Yeah, so keep that in mind. The book 1 does end on a bit of a cliffhanger, so it doesn't tie up all in a nice bow because it's going to lead right into book 2. Just no preamble, just all right, here we go. Picking up right where we left off. But in book 1, there is a completion of a part of the story arc for Yrvin, in that we follow him through this time of his life from his first days in university to graduating. So we do complete that story arc of his life, and he's transitioning into this next story arc of his life, and then that's what book 2 is about, is this next part of his life. And as an immigrant, he faces a lot of challenges, a lot of strife, and this story is absolutely open and unabashed about the racism that these people faced and honestly continue to face, and then also the inter-racism between Haitian people and Cuban people, and just all of the difficulties they face regardless of their nationality, just being immigrants and having English not as their first language, and some of the immigrants don't speak English at all, and just a lot of the dangers and the difficulties they face, and how they pull together as a community to help each other keep going, and also how some of them, like Yrvin, are able to make something of themselves and to turn around and then go back and help their community. So it's just a beautiful story. I highly recommend it. I personally learned a lot about Haitian history and Haitian culture. It was a really awesome read. And even if you're not a big history buff like I am, if you're not super big into history, even purely just for the character and story aspects, it is a fabulous read. It's a lot of fun. I really recommend, please do check it out. I'm going to put the link in the description below, so please be sure to check it out. It is awesome. Right, y'all, I want to thank y'all so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please be sure to give it a like, and if you're new, subscribe. All right, y'all, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.